What began as a night of light and celebration ended in horror. During a Hanukkah gathering at Bondi Beach, gunfire tore through a crowd that had come together in peace. In moments, joy turned to panic. 15 people were killed. More than 40 were wounded. The victims ranged in age from just 10 years old to 87, a span that underlines how indiscriminate this attack was. Police say the annual event drew around 1,000 people, families and children among them, making the violence all the more devastating. As ambulances rushed victims to hospitals and officers secured the area, the reality set in. Australia was facing one of its darkest days in recent memory. By morning, the nation had entered mourning. And far beyond Australia's borders, shock rippled outward, not just because of the scale of the loss, but because this attack struck a sacred moment meant for community, safety, and hope. And soon, authorities would confirm what many feared. This was no random act, but something far more deliberate. Authorities say the violence erupted during an annual Hanukkah celebration at Bondi Beach, a long-standing community gathering that had drawn families, children, and elders alike. According to police, the attackers opened fire directly into the crowd, turning a public celebration into a mass casualty scene within minutes. Chaos followed as people scrambled for cover and emergency calls flooded in. Police officers were among the first to respond, confronting the gunmen and securing the area as ambulances rushed the wounded to hospitals across Sydney. In total, more than 42 people were hospitalized, including officers injured during the response. 5 victims remain in critical condition, fighting for their lives. As investigators assessed the motive and scale of the attack, the official classification soon followed. New South Wales Premier Chris Minns confirmed that the shooting was being treated as a terrorist incident, a declaration that immediately elevated the tragedy from a local emergency to a national crisis. That confirmation would soon trigger condemnation at the highest levels and ignite a wave of reactions across the world. With the incident officially declared an act of terrorism, the national response was swift and unequivocal. Australia's leadership described the Bondi Beach shooting as a deliberate act of hatred, one that targeted a religious community during a sacred celebration. The language was stark, reflecting the gravity of the moment. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese condemned the attack as an act of pure evil, underscoring that violence driven by antisemitism has no place in Australian society. In a country known globally for strict gun laws and relative safety, the shock ran especially deep. This wasn't just about the loss of life, it was about identity. An attack on a public, multicultural gathering struck at the heart of what Australia believes itself to be: open, diverse, and secure. And as political leaders spoke, their words were quickly echoed beyond government halls, amplified by voices with global reach as celebrities and artists began speaking out in grief, anger, and solidarity. As news of the Bondi Beach attack spread, reactions poured in from across Hollywood. Not rehearsed statements, but raw emotional responses that reflected both grief and growing alarm. Australian actress Rebel Wilson shared her shock and heartbreak, calling the shooting an absolute tragedy. She described it as the most un-Australian thing to have happened, stressing that gun violence and anti-Semitism go against everything the country stands for. Her message carried a deeply personal tone. This wasn't just global news, it was home. For Gal Gadot, the pain was spiritual as much as emotional. She wrote that her heart is shattered, emphasizing that the attack deliberately targeted a sacred moment meant for hope and unity. Choosing symbolism over despair, Gadot spoke about lighting her Hanukkah candle for the victims and for what she called a world of light, a quiet act of defiance against hatred. Ashton Kutcher addressed the broader consequences, warning that anti-Semitic rhetoric is never abstract. In his words, it carries a real cost, one that Jewish communities continue to pay. He expressed hope that somehow, even this devastation might lead to what he described as a hidden miracle, Mandy Moore focused on a detail that made the tragedy even harder to comprehend. The attack happened on the first night of Hanukkah, in a country known for some of the world's strictest gun laws. Absolutely devastating, she wrote, extending her support to Jewish communities everywhere. Singer-songwriter Maren Morris shared a brief but heartfelt message, saying her heart was with Australia during an unthinkable moment of loss. For Australian pop star Troye Sivan, the tragedy struck close to identity. He spoke as a member of the Jewish community, my community, as he put it, calling out the horror of a terrorist attack on a night meant for celebration, and reaffirming solidarity with the victims and the city of Sydney. But the tone shifted sharply with Sarah Foster, whose response moved from mourning to outright fury. She condemned what she described as years of ignored warning signs, hate crimes, anti-Semitic slogans, and a refusal to confront escalating rhetoric. Her message was blunt. Prayers alone are no longer enough. Awareness and action, she argued, are the only options left. Together, these voices marked a turning point from grief to urgency, setting the stage for deeper reflection on history, memory, and why moments like this echo far beyond a single night. As grief gave way to reflection, comedian and writer Alex Edelman shared an image that quietly reframed the moment. The photograph dates back to 1932, taken by Rachel Posner. It shows a menorah lit in a window, while outside, a Nazi swastika flag hangs in full view. A stark contrast. Darkness on one side of the glass, defiant light on the other. Edelman quoted Posner's handwritten inscription beneath the image, "Some lights cannot be extinguished." In the wake of the Bondi Beach attack, the post resonated deeply, not as commentary, but as continuity. A reminder that hatred has surfaced before, in different places and eras. And yet the act of choosing light has endured. At a time when a celebration meant to symbolize hope was violently disrupted, the image struck a nerve. It didn't erase the loss, but it reinforced a truth many were clinging to. Resilience is not loud, but it lasts. And as that message spread, authorities were preparing to release confirmed details about those responsible for the attack. As the investigation continued, Australian media identified the attackers as a father and son, Sajid Akram, aged 50, and his 24-year-old son, Naveed Akram. Police confirmed the father was shot and killed during a shootout with officers at the scene. His son was taken into custody and remains in critical condition in hospital. Authorities also stated that the pair used long arms to fire into the crowd, and that the father was legally licensed to own 6 firearms, all of which are believed to have been used in the attack. Those details only deepened the national shock, raising difficult questions about radicalization, warning signs, and how a moment of public celebration could be turned into mass tragedy. For now, Australia mourns. Families grieve. Communities gather in silence. And a country known for safety and restraint confronts a wound that will not heal quickly. If you want clear, responsible coverage of stories that shape culture, celebrity, and the moments where they collide, like the video, subscribe to Papaya Room, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss what's next.